Let's talk to Kevin Schofield, try to get somebody sensible on the show. Kevin, very good morning to you. Sorry for laughing.
Mate, how are you?
I mean, we got racist dogs, right, to talk about. We got smuggling guns from Keir Starmer. Apparently they found the bloke who's responsible for all the illegal migrants. I mean, help me out here, Kevin. Make sense of it all for me, will you?
I'll try my best. I mean, yeah, I can understand why Keir Starmer wants to shout it from the rooftops that they've got this guy. And don't get me wrong, it's good that they've got this guy because he was supplying these boats.
He's not exactly Al Capone, though, is he?
But I think there's a danger that the Prime Minister might be over-egging it just a tad.
Yeah.
Because the idea that this one fella, that getting rid of him and you've solved the problem. Now, to be fair, he did say it's not a silver bullet.
Yeah.
But sad truth is that there'll be loads of others just willing to take this fella's place because it's a very lucrative business, obviously, you know, because the demand to cross the channel is huge. People are spending, you know, their life savings to get in these boats. So clearly the guys loading them onto the boats need boats.
Yeah.
So the demand there is huge. So there will be someone else, unfortunately, will come along, even if this guy gets arrested and banged up.
Well, it doesn't. But it's not as if. Yeah, but hang on. But it's not about somebody else coming along. There's already thousands of them, you know, who run this business. You know, it's like the biggest smuggling operation that anybody's ever seen. It's bigger than drug smuggling. It's bigger than, you know, money laundering. It's a criminal enterprise which is being run pretty much across the whole of Western Europe. You know. These people are not messing around. They picked one guy. It's like picking a drug dealer off the street corner and going, oh, I think now we're going to stop all the cocaine being sold in London. It's not going to happen, is it?
No, you're right. I mean, it's a huge business. It's a huge operation. And as I say, there's a danger that the Prime Minister, he's looking for wins, isn't he? Because the boats are still coming. They're coming at an even faster rate than they were at the start of the year. He knows that the numbers are not good. He said he's going to bring them down. He knows that voters want it to stop, and he's looking for any kind of win that he can get. But as I say, the danger here is that you look a bit daft over-egging one arrest when, as you say, unfortunately, there are loads and loads of these guys more than willing to carry out this particular function.
Yes, notwithstanding the fact that he's made a bit of a gaffe about the smuggling guns. Let's have a look at what he actually had to say.
It is good news that today a man suspected of being a significant supplier of small boat equipment has been arrested. Criminal gangs have been getting away with this for far too long. I want to thank the UK National Crime Agency, along with their Dutch and Belgian counterparts, for all their hard work and their crucial role in this investigation. It's exactly what we want to see. And it shows that our approach of working with international partners to smash the people smuggling gangs is bearing fruit. In just over 4 months since the election, we've rapidly set up a new border security command, bringing together key agencies to disrupt people smuggling gangs.
Now, notwithstanding the obvious typo there, isn't he prejudicing this guy's trial? I mean, he's making out that they've arrested a guy who's already guilty. You know, he spent a lot of time telling us all that we can't prejudice trials about Southport killings because, you know, that would be wrong. And obviously, you know, we have to be very careful what we say about people who have been arrested without actually seeing any kind of trial or inside of a courtroom. And here he is saying this is exactly what people want. We've arrested this guy who's obviously guilty of people smuggling. It's a little slightly double standard, isn't it?
It is very strange. I don't remember a Prime Minister effectively giving a press conference to announce someone being arrested about anything before, you know. No. Maybe the Home Secretary, more likely the police involved themselves will come out and say we have arrested so-and-so, but they will also be very clear and very careful not to prejudice any child. So it suggests to me that he is desperate to try and claim the credit for this and tries to highlight any sort of wins they can get their hands on when it comes to small boat crossings, because, as I say, they keep coming. So if he can sort of say, well, listen, don't look over there at the boats coming, look at over here, we've arrested this one guy. It makes it look like they're making progress, when in actual fact, I think most people would look at it and think, well, this is small beer, unfortunately.
Well, everybody is responding this morning on this show, sending me voice notes and sending me messages and tweets and all the rest of it, saying, yeah, here's one, typical one. I bet the other 200,000 members of the gang are absolutely terrified, because, there's a lot more than one person who's behind all this. But at the end of the day as well, this, to me, is a bit like the Tories trumpeting how they were sending people back to Rwanda, and they went, how many people have you sent? One bloke is gone, and we paid him 3,000 quid. It's kind of that level of idiocy, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the thing. Voters aren't daft. They're very used now, I think, to spin coming from politicians, and they can cut through it quite easily, and they take what politicians say with a huge pinch of salt. Yes. And I think they will probably take the same attitude to this particular story as well.
Yeah, I think so. Let's talk a little bit about the other big stories on the front pages this morning. One on the front page of the Times, police are treating classroom jibes as hate incidents. Now, this is going to come back, I think, to haunt him massively because, of course, we've had the story this week of Alison Pearson from the Telegraph, who was visited on Remembrance Sunday by 2 police officers. It says now on the front page of the Telegraph, and they're absolutely running with this story, that it involved 3 separate police forces were called in to probe the single tweet that she was being quizzed about, even though they still haven't told her what the tweet said or what the tweet was that upset people. But now it turns out that there is more and more information coming out about police officers investigating what they call non-crime hate incidents, which were supposed to have been done away with, I thought, under the last government, but they're now actually quizzing children among thousands and thousands of people being investigated for these things. One 9-year-old child who called a primary school classmate a retard, 2 secondary school girls who said that another pupil smelt like fish. What the hell are the police doing? What are they thinking?
I mean, does this mean that they've now dealt with crime? Crime's done. We've managed to solve all the crimes, so now we're looking at non-crime incidents because crime's been dealt with. I mean, yeah, the examples in the front of the Times this morning about the 9-year-old boy being investigated by the police because of something he said to a kid, and obviously it was a very unpleasant thing he said. It's not a crime, but obviously it is a non-crime. But why are the police getting involved in it?
Yeah, I mean,
if that type of thing happened when you or I were at school, which, let's be fair, was quite a long time ago, you'd maybe get a clip round the ear from the teacher, or your parents would get told about it. But the police certainly wouldn't get involved. I don't understand.
Why on earth are the police getting involved? I mean, I can call you a retard if I want. You can be offended if you like. I can call my producer a retard, but I don't expect the police to come bundling through the door saying, we're going to drag you off and beat you to a pulp inside of, Scotland Yard.
It is bizarre, and I'm fairly sure as well that police officers don't really want to be doing this either. They want to actually be getting out there and dealing with.
Well, do you know, people always say that, but I'm beginning to wonder if they actually quite like doing it, because they seem to be very enthusiastic about doing it. I mean, according to the Times, there are thousands and thousands of these cases which are going on every single day, and they were supposed to have been told, we're not investigating non-crime hate crimes anymore.
Well, we're also being told that the police are stretched, that they don't have enough resources, there aren't enough officers. So why do we have enough officers, though, to investigate things that 9-year-old kids say to one another in school playgrounds? I mean, exactly. It defies belief, really. It's bizarre.
It really does. I mean, it seems extraordinary to me. But every time we get told that the police are trying to sort of clean up their act and they're trying to get better at actually solving proper crimes, we get this kind of news. And, in August, Yvette Cooper, the Home Secretary, said that she was considering reversing changes made last year by the Tories designed to protect free speech. So maybe, and I don't know this because it could just be speculation, maybe Yvette Cooper has told them to ramp this stuff up because she's obviously in favour of it.
Well, it came up yesterday, the Alison Pearson story. It came up yesterday at Lobby, where we get to ask questions of the Prime Minister's spokesman, and, he basically threw his weight behind it. He said, this is an important thing that the police do. It helps to build up data about these types of incidents. So, yeah, it is being authorised and signed off at the highest levels of government.
Right. Incredible. Meanwhile, the fallout from the budget continues to resonate, doesn't it? We've got Rachel Reeves saying that she wants the city to take more risks, which is always a slightly interesting position for a Chancellor of the Labour Party to hold. She says that she wants to see a kind of, entrepreneurial spirit revisited in the Bank of England's sort of neck of the woods in Threadneedle Street and around the financial heart of London. But I'm not sure she knows what she's talking about here, does she?
Well, obviously, the government, they've said they want to make economic growth their number one mission, so clearly that's what's behind it. However, those of us that can remember the fallout from the financial crash in 2008, when it was all blamed on light touch regulation in the city, speculators and city traders, basically just doing what they wanted, speculating vast amounts of money, it brought the economy to its knees. So they brought in lots of regulation to prevent that from happening again. Fast forward 15 years and it's like, oh, you know what, we'll just start rolling it all back again. And, for those of us that remember it quite vividly, 2008 and all the chaos that ensued, you just start to wonder, hang on a minute, we were told back then that low regulation in the city was bad. Now it's good again. And, you've just got to be careful, because we know what happened when we let the city speculators run loose.
Well, that's the thing. That's why I'm rather surprised to hear us saying it. I mean, the front page of the Eye, which yesterday said that they're going to miss their targets for house building, which is what they were planning to do. Front page of the Eye says Reeves wants to give bankers bonuses early. She wants to unveil a major pensions fund revamp, and she wants to loosen restrictive rules introduced after the 2008 crisis. I mean, it's all playing a bit fast and loose, that, isn't it?
Well, if you remember as well, Mike, it was Labour who brought in all those rules.
Yeah.
Gordon Brown, who was Prime Minister at the time, and Alistair Darling was Chancellor.
Yes.
They were the ones who brought in those regulations, which we were told were essential to prevent another financial crash. And now we're being told, well, actually, they're stifling growth, so we're going to start rolling them back again. But, as I say, you've just got to be very, very careful, because we all remember what happened back in 2008, and you don't want that to happen again.
No, exactly right. Good to talk to you, sir. Thank you very much indeed. Kevin Schofield there, police editor of the Huff Post UK.